The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
High noon on a Thursday at the Star in Frisco. Eagles week continues. There's a football team on a football field out here as the work continues, and we are inside the SWBC podcast studio, and Mickey Spagnola wishes he could be out that door and watching practice right now.
Yeah, the nerve of McCarthy to push practice back from 11:30 to 12.
And our viewing opportunity.
Goodness
hey, man,
gracious.
you know, we can do like we did yesterday. We run
Just
out of
run
here
out there.
during the break.
And we're the ones that broke the story
Daggone
yesterday.
Right, man. That
That's
was
right.
very exciting, by the way.
Yeah,
I
you need to
enjoyed
move your
that
microphone
yesterday.
up just a little bit.
Do I a
there,
little bit?
Everson.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. Only because I don't like that.
Uh-huh.
Looks funny. Anyway.
And we did have the breaking story
Yes, we
yesterday,
did.
which
Yes,
was
we
Dak
did.
Prescott has decided to play left-handed against the Eagles on
That's
Sunday
right.
night.
You heard it here first.
I told him, you know what? You really hacked me off. He goes, what? I said, you throw the ball left-handed better than I've ever thrown it with my right hand.
No, but it was the intensity, right? We were out there, and I'm thinking, okay, here it is. He's gonna throw it. We're gonna see how it looks. And each time he threw it, it was with his left hand. I thought that was a great tease, by the way. That was too much fun.
Well,
Too much fun.
he did throw the ball after practice.
I heard.
Right hand.
With his right
I heard,
hand.
I heard.
And with some authority, by the way.
And
Some velocity.
CD Lamb gave a quote.
Some velocity.
Yeah, CD Lamb had a quote.
Yeah.
He said all his throws look strong, look good.
And when the media was walking out to go to the locker room, he was still throwing. And I figured it was going to be kind of soft toss or whatever. Towards the end, when they were walking out, he was cutting it loose, by the way. And afterwards, somebody asked him, did he have any pop in his ball? And he said, I've always got pop in my ball. So, and I also got to see the thing he was wearing on his hand. It's not like a brace or anything. It's just like an elastic wrap.
I was gonna say, is it elastic?
Yeah, it's kind of to keep everything tight, he
Okay.
said. It wasn't, offering any protection, just kind of some, when you hurt something, if you just keep it tight.
Yeah.
And
But he had a screw put in there?
he had a plate with
Okay.
screw. Yeah, it had
so
to
that
have
would
screws with a plate.
Yeah, and so it would make sense. You're trying to keep it as
kind of
In
secure
place.
it. Yeah.
Keep it in place. Yeah.
So, he was happy with the results. And you know what I found out afterwards? We were talking about the snap. Got to take the snap and where that pressure hits. So, someone told me, he goes, quarterbacks can reverse it, put his right hand down and his left hand up, and then just grab the ball.
Huh. Would that compromise anything?
Because you
in
probably
the
wouldn't
pressure,
get
under pressure?
you probably wouldn't get the laces the way you normally would get them, right? To get in your right hand.
Yeah. Because that stuff is like, boom.
Yeah. But they were kind of doing that with him when he was throwing.
And that wasn't light. They weren't just handing it to him. They was kind of,
as we were joking about side saddle.
Right.
But he was throwing.
That was Bill started.
The receivers.
I didn't say anything about
Yes,
sides.
you did.
Yes, you did. That was not anybody but Bill.
Trying to make a joke.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was. I assume he's going to do the same thing today, and I think when he does the quarterback drills before, he's going to throw with his right hand.
You think he's going to take it from under center?
No.
Okay.
I mean, because I'm trying to remember what I saw. When he was throwing to the receivers, I think he was just throwing to them, like simulating a drop back and throwing. So,
but today,
we'll go out there and see.
How long is it open to the media?
For about 20 minutes.
Okay, and they just open it up. So
Right.
we just need to take a break.
Take a break at 15
with still
and see
enough
if he's
time.
out there. Or you guys just talk amongst yourself and I'll run out there.
Well, we did that very well.
Yeah.
yesterday.
It is called mix shots.
That's right. You think I need to be here?
Just to state the obvious.
So anyway, that was good
So, Bill,
news.
you can leave.
And we'll see.
Oh, Everson can leave. That's it.
And we'll see. Make sure there was no residual effect from the throwing he did.
And see, that's a good one.
Right.
How does he feel after those muscles have awakened?
Yeah, in his hand. Because he'd been doing some soft toss, but this was
but this ain't the same.
This was kind of cutting
Yeah,
loose,
those tendons
right?
like, hey, what's happening
What are you
here?
doing?
We're working.
So anyway, that's your Dak Prescott update. And I thought it was kind of funny. Clarence Hill asked Mike McCarthy why they just didn't act like he was practicing getting ready to play, so to confuse the Eagles on which quarterback was going to start. I wish I had a picture of McCarthy's face. He didn't even have to say anything, right? It was, so it was a good laugh. And the funny thing is when they do that, we get mad at them, right? Because they're not leveling with us. Now they're leveling with us, and, whoa, why aren't you doing the other thing, right?
But I have been, listening to the pundits, and they have been really hard on Dak and the coach. I don't know what Chris is doing back there. That's Chris. He dropped something. I'm very always curious to hear how each channel, each pundit talks about this little quarterback controversy we have. That's what they want to call it. They want this to be a quarterback controversy because if he keeps on winning, then they think they should sit Dak longer and longer. It's not about waiting till Dak is ready. It's about not ruining the momentum, interrupting the momentum that we have at this point. And my thing is this. When you look at a Dak Prescott team, what you've seen is a quarterback that couldn't rely on the defense. They didn't allow him to even play to his defense. We played to the running game, but we have never have played to our defense. And so as much as we talk about how Cooper Rush is doing a great job, and we talk about stats like quarterback rating and all of that, but, man, if you look at numbers, you look at number of passes thrown, you look at the games played, it's really no comparison in regards to experience. And that's just something that everyone is just – they're trying to fit this – round ball into this round peg into a square peg, and it doesn't work like that. This is a different team. It's a different game from last year.
Right.
And that's just the way it is. As we play the games differently now, not just because Cooper Rush is here, but because our defense is so damn good. So when you start talking about
and that was the game plan in the
rating,
offseason, no matter who was the quarterback.
Yes.
If Dak was the quarterback, that was the emphasis that the coaching staff had, the changes that they were going to make this year because they had confidence that the defense was going to continue to grow off what a nice year last year, and that's how they need to win games. And so as soon as someone starts talking about a quarterback controversy, Mickey, do I need to go back to my stat from the last win, which is for the Cowboys won a game with 10 first downs. It was the first time in over a half century that they have won a football game with 10 first downs or fewer in a game. So, and so the point is they need to keep the same type philosophy on offense once Dak is back.
Yes.
So today's birthday boy, Jerry Jones, turning 80, mentioned.
We use that term "boy" very loosely.
Yes.
when you're 80 plus years old,
you probably wouldn't mind being called a boy at 80, right? You think he blows out candles? I don't know, right? There was a big story today in the morning news, and they didn't mention if he blows the candles out, though. They mentioned he eats carrot cake.
Nice.
With a lot of icing.
Of course. Man,
so
carrot cake.
When he was talking on Tuesday, and he pointed out when you have a highly skilled and quarterback like we do, he went on to say that, and thank goodness we are successful not having that dimension, meaning the ability to get, and he went on about, when you're 3rd and 15, can you throw a 20-yard pass and be successful? Because that's what Dak does. And he said not having that dimension, meaning, and when you get it back, That will be a real additive. We'll be a mess if we can keep playing defense like this. So they understand, it's like, God bless Cooper Rush. Somehow, some way, we're figuring out to win with 10 first downs. But when Dak's ready to go, we got the other dimension out there on the field.
Point two. This is always being compared to the Tony Romo, Dak Prescott exchange.
Yeah,
2016.
That was 11 games and counting, right? It's not four games,
Right.
I think they were somewhat worried about. We put Romo back in there. Is he going to stay healthy, or are we going to have to continue this? And I think
the nature of Romo's injury, and
right?
recent injury history, and what part of the body we're talking, like his back.
Yeah,
Yes.
man, that was.
I think that had something to do with
That was
it,
tough.
And the contract.
right.
Well, now that's a similar situation then.
Right.
Yeah, that would make it a similar
I don't
situation.
think Dak is going to retire next year and go to the broadcast booth, regardless. So the age of the players, what I'm talking about, where they are in their career.
Jerry also has mentioned that when they went into the playoffs with Dak playing, that they had the least experienced playoff quarterback in the playoffs that year. And I think he felt like it might have showed up. Although they were in the game, right?
Which game are you talking?
The playoff loss
Green
in
Bay?
2016.
Green Bay?
Yeah.
Man, that was an amazing. That was one of Dak's best games.
I mean, he put 30 points on the board
Man,
and
he
came
threw
back
for
in the
over 300 plus yards
in the last minute.
And he drove. He that was his game-winning drive.
Right.
But we just couldn't hold him up. That was his game-winning drive. That game right there made me so mad because that particular year, Aaron Rodgers had committed 2 Hail Marys. And he did it almost with the same move. And that was to get outside the defensive end, and buy more time.
Was the game Monday night? Green Bay?
The game was Sunday night.
No, this week. When they
oh.
played on TV. Was it Monday night game or Sunday night game? I forgot. When Green Bay played, they got beat.
That was Sunday morning.
Sunday morning.
Sunday morning.
London. Yeah.
So I had a flashback. They got the ball back. They're starting to, kind of move it. And there he goes. Shotgun snap. He bailed out and rolled to his left. And I'm going, oh, that looks familiar. Right? And this time, he overthrew the receiver.
It looked familiar to me back in 2000. I think that was 18. Was it the calendar year 18? When we played Green Bay in the playoffs?
No, it was 16.
It was 16? Did
Right.
we make it to the calendar year of 17?
Well, it was 14. Which year are you talking about?
When Dak
14 and then again in 16.
And 16.
16.
Yeah.
Not the catch.
Yeah.
Not there.
No.
We're talking here at home.
Right.
Right.
I saw it
Jared
then.
Cook.
When
It was the throw to the tight end.
he
Jared
did it-
Cook.
Yeah. I hate that guy to this day, man. He's a heck of a player, man. I mean, I hate him because he's a hell of a player, and he always hurts us. And we had a rush going. We had a spy. If I'm not mistaken, we had a spy on him. So a linebacker. I can't remember who the linebacker was for us, but they came up the middle or they came to the outside, and they didn't protect the outside shoulder of the quarterback. He spun out to the left, just like you said, and then there's Cook wide open. For some reason, the safety, he's coming up on Rodgers. Why? I mean, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was a third and double-digit yards for a first down. He decides to come up on Rodgers. Cook is wide open on the sideline.
Well, the corner was underneath and the safety was over the top, and they didn't squeeze it enough. And not only does he complete it, it's a toe tapper on the sideline and gets out of bounds.
It looks so good.
Right?
It looks
but
so good.
what we all forget, and I think it was Randy Gregory, he got tackled from behind when he started bailing out to his left. The offensive lineman grabbed Gregory from behind. He's going to sack him.
All right. One other note, and we're going to go break because you need to go check
That's
on
right.
Dak. But you look at comparing this with 2016 again. I looked up the contract, what's left on the contract of each player. Romo had $18 million left on his contract because they paid dead cap money in 2017 was 10-point-something million and 8-point-something million in 2018. Okay, Dak's got after this year $89 million. So that is why Cooper Rush can he can win 11 straight games. Okay, he can win the Super Bowl. And he's still
going to be the backup quarterback.
He's not going to be the starting quarterback next year because otherwise you're paying that kind of money to your quarterback.
Or he might be the starting quarterback in Carolina.
Yeah, I mean Cooper's going to be someplace else if he does that.
Yeah,
right,
absolutely.
Because the commitment is to Dak. So there you go.
And I'll give you a Philadelphia injury update
When we come back on
There you
Mick
go.
Shots.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh, she's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
What do you call a group of grown men and women with their faces painted silver and blue who get together every week to share a 3-hour-long ritual of jumping, singing, and toasting Miller Lite in 10-gallon hats while yelling, "How about them Cowboys?" You call it Miller Time in Dallas. Here's to the Cowboys. Here's to the original light beer. It's Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2021 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Back to Mick Shots.
And we're back on Mix Shots. And Mickey Spagnola and Everson Walls are watching practice right now. And now they are returning into the SWBC podcast studio. And we wait with bated breath to find out what is going on the practice field. Before you even do your read, Mickey, which you don't even know where it is.
Yes, I have.
You want to do the read first, or would you like to do a Dak update
What
first?
day's today?
Today is Thursday.
Get
Jerry's
the ultimate,
birthday.
Get the ultimate fan experience for the ultimate Cowboys fan. Join Dallas Cowboys United, presented by Globe Life, starting at just $20. Join now and get your fan pack, exclusive benefits, and more. Visit DallasCowboys.com/United for details and join today.
Good job, Spags.
Very nice.
How about that?
That was
I don't know,
good.
why was this here?
Was that like a duet?
I might as well use it.
All right. So, what do y'all see on the practice field?
Nothing.
The quarterbacks are doing quarterback school indoors.
Inside. For
I knew it was
center.
too good to be true. I knew it.
So we saw.
So, what do you
special
read into
teams.
that? Yeah, they're trying to cover it up. They're trying to
Covering up
hide.
how much he's doing.
They're just making Philadelphia nervous. That's all. They're making them study.
Making them guess?
Yeah, making them study for 2 different quarterbacks.
And he's supposed to do the same thing today. Do the quarterback warm-up thing and then throw after practice again.
Okay, I've had enough Dak talk.
All right. Let me give you an update.
We've never said that before.
So on the official practice report for injuries, Philadelphia Eagles, the Eagles did not practice Wednesday.
They don't think they need to practice.
Yeah, they must think they're really good. They don't need to practice. So the practice report is an estimation. Well, on their estimation for Wednesday, limited practice, 4 of their starting 5 offensive linemen are listed as limited. Landon Dickerson, Jason
and
Kelsey.
Dickerson had what injury is it?
Ankle.
Okay.
Jason Kelsey, ankle. Isaac Seomalu, ankle, and Jordan Mailata, shoulder. That's 4/5 of their starting offensive line. And the one that I read in some report, I think it was the newspaper or whatever, it was they were worried about Dickerson and Kelsey the most.
Well, Mailata did not play last game, and he only played 6 snaps against Jacksonville the week before.
Okay.
So they're probably thinking if he is not, if they're not worried about him, that means that they're not expecting him to play, probably, unless they since he's on the report.
So he's limited, and then cornerback Avante Maddox limited with an ankle, and there was running back Kenneth Gainwell. They use him a little bit. He's got a rib injury, and linebacker, I believe he's a backup, Patrick Johnson, concussion. But I didn't realize this. So their kicker, Cameron Dicker, he was the special teams NFC.
Dicker the kicker.
Dicker the kicker, right? He was
Texas Longhorn.
He was the,
of course.
He was the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week. Now, what did he do? Kicked 2 field goals and the winner from 23 yards.
Wow, that's a challenge.
I'm thinking all those games.
Is that closer than a regular extra point?
Yes.
I mean, the original extra point.
Yeah, about the same.
20 yards was the original extra point.
Yeah.
So, Maher.
It's easier than the 20 yards.
Maher in all these close games kicking 4 field goals, 3 field goals.
Higher the closer you get, right?
This guy kicks 2, right? So, Jake Elliott, their regular kicker, has missed the last, I think, 1 or 2 games with a right ankle injury. It was against Jacksonville, so that
2 games ago.
Just 2 games ago. So he missed last week. So Dicker is on the practice squad, and they elevate him. So we'll see if they have to do it again this week. But it's a different story when you're Sunday night football, right?
I'll tell you what's going to be a great challenge. I mean, we talked about trying to run the ball. That's going to be tough on us because Philadelphia's run game is real well. They play real well. Of course, we're still going to force that on them as far as our game plan. But when you look at the secondary of the Philadelphia Eagles, I think they're damn good, especially their cornerbacks. I have seen them play very well against some top-notch receivers, and they have done a very good job. And even when a receiver catches the ball, it was just like the Cowboys versus the Bucs in the opening game. They are tight, and you're going to have to put it in there in a tight window against these cornerbacks. So Cooper is going to really have to rely on that play action to get these guys open. But if you ain't running the ball well, and you've got that big boy from Georgia, what's his name? Davis.
Jordan Davis.
Who played the most snaps of the season last year with 29. Last week. I said last year, sorry. 29 snaps. So they were saying he's starting to play, and he had 3 solo tackles. So he's a load. Their cornerbacks, James Bradbury, Darius Slay. And then I mentioned
4-time Pro Bowler.
And then I mentioned Maddox. And one of their backups, Josh Jobe, is listed as he would not have practiced yesterday. For the Cowboys, by the way, did not practice Micah Parsons, but they expected him to work into practice today on a limited basis. DeMarcus Lawrence chest, he's got rib thing. He was limited, but they felt like he would do the same thing today as he did yesterday. And
did it come from contact,
shorter,
or is it some type of
when he
muscular
ran
thing?
into Dave Edwards when they collided, remember?
Okay.
And they brought out the stretcher,
Yes,
and
yes.
then both of them kind of walked off.
You said Dave Edwards?
David Edwards. Yeah, he's not the Cowboy linebacker,
Yeah,
Dave
like,
Edwards,
man,
but
what's going on?
guard
No deja
David
vu.
Edwards.
It was.
Yes, yeah. No,
Okay.
but he was.
His mind
Bill knows
went,
where my head's going.
went back 50 years, right?
I do that often.
And then the other guy that didn't practice was Rico Dowdle. So we'll see what happens there. And Dalton Schultz is listed as limited, as had been Ferguson last week, right? And he was listed as full this week. But that was those two guys. Their concern is why they signed
Seth Green.
Seth Green, right?
Who is
Allen High School?
Yep.
Aha,
Allen High
I
School.
got one faster than he did.
He couldn't wait. He was going to say it. Bill
They
was
signed
on
him.
it.
You got his college? You got his college?
Texas
Houston.
Tech.
University of Houston. Very good.
Did my
That's
homework.
right. What team was he with in training camp?
Now you got me. The Giants?
Houston.
Oh, okay. They didn't go very far. They signed a guy so he didn't have to pay his travel. And I understand there was two reasons for it. One was the opportunity to sign a very athletic tight end. And two, somewhat out of necessity because they felt like Ferguson and Schultz probably wouldn't do much practicing and they needed another body to help facilitate practice as a tight end. So he's on the practice squad. But they're taking a chance on somebody that was very athletic in high school. He was a quarterback. I think I remember seeing him play. He's big.
I know that we haven't had many pass attempts compared to what we're accustomed to. And as you look at our targets, not many tight end targets. And we're going to lead our tight end in this game.
Poor Dalton Schultz in his free agent year. He's not getting the ball thrown in.
Well, he's you can tell he's limping around out there.
Well, I know.
They have to help. I know you know, but they have to help him up after every play, whether he's blocking or he's running the pass pattern.
He's got 9 catches so far for 80 yards.
And we are going to need. What about the entire tight end
and he only
position?
I want to say he only got like 10 snaps in the game.
We're going to need
he got
them.
10 snaps against the Rams, 1 target. He had 3 targets against Washington in 55 snaps.
Mm-hmm. And our tight ends overall, it's still not much better than that. I know that we had more success, I think, against the Giants. When we
as far as throwing the ball to him, Hendershot, no targets against the Rams, and Ferguson was no targets.
Well, I'll give you 2 reasons for that. 1, they're running the ball a little bit more, and 2, they're a lot of times keeping both tight ends in pass protection.
And now Philly knows this. You understand? We are going to have to do something to counter that because they're going to make us do that, and they're going to try and shut down our wide receivers and make Cooper Rush beat us some kind of way. They're going to stack the line. You know that. They're going to stack the line to make us do play action because they are not going to allow us to run the ball.
You don't think they'll get 163 yards rushing?
I do not. Boy, if we do that, this game is over.
You got a W?
Yes, we have a W. So these are the things that they need to be aware of. Tight ends are going to have to be more prevalent in our passing game. That's just the way it is. Now, if you don't want the tight ends, there's going to have to be them or the running backs because the wide receivers, they are going to have issues this weekend.
Would you like some more information on Seth Green, who was added to the practice squad?
Please.
This is very much a developmental tight end. Mm-hmm. In fact, that's why after he was cut by the Texans, he wasn't on their practice squad. So he was out there and no team picked him up. But obviously the Cowboys are intrigued by him, brought him in for a workout like what they saw and so forth. Going back to Allen High School, he was there just for 1 year, his senior year at Allen. He transferred in from Minnesota.
Right? Yeah.
And he did play quarterback, threw 19 touchdown passes and averaged 8.6 yards a carry with 10 touchdown runs, led him to the state championship game his senior year there. But even At Houston, he first went to University of Minnesota for 4 years. His last year there, very limited statistically, and then in 1 year at Houston, 12 games at tight end with 13 catches. So my point on all that is he's not a guy he's a developmental guy.
Right,
so,
absolutely, and athletic, and that was the thing they saw. Plus, when he transferred to Houston, he had to graduate, and he graduated and showed up at Houston, I read, in like August 6th of that summer. He graduated, and then he got to Houston. So there wasn't much time to acclimate to playing tight end.
So there you go. All right, let's get back to that second. Well, no, we got to take a break for it. When we come back, let's get back to that secondary that I can tell Everson really wants to talk about when we come back in a moment.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh, she's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
The season is finally here. For months, we've been gearing up to win. Now it's time for the team that performs on any field, United Ag and Turf. With John Deere zero turns for mowing, compact tractors for loading, mini excavators for digging, Gator utility vehicles for hauling, implements for grading, hay tools for baling. United Ag and Turf, for winning. The official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com for more. Back to Mick Shots.
K-Post Roofing and Waterproofing, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys. From corporate homes to your home, have your roof checked by choice, not by chance. Call now, 214-225-4860, and that would be kpostcompany.com.
All right, we touched on it a little bit last segment, but you do think that the Cowboys will need to throw for more than 102 yards in this game, do you think? What do you think?
They're going to have to throw for more than, 12 passes? Is that
10 of 16.
16 passes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to have to throw 20-plus times, no doubt about it.
Okay, so how confident are you against this Philly defense?
I am not very confident at all.
In stopping the pass rush or getting receivers open?
I'm not worried about the pass rush as much as I'm worried about getting receivers open. They're going to try to game plan Cooper Rush, and no one's had people have done a pretty good job at it, but our defense has given them putting him in some good positions. So it's allowed him to overcome any game plan against him. But when you have physical matchups, that's something that's hard to game plan. You can't design a way for CeeDee Lamb to get away from Slay. CeeDee Lamb's going to have to figure that out for himself. Mm-hmm. He's going to have to know what his best routes are. If you got Maddox, he's going to be in the slot. Whoever he's guarding in the slot, they're going to have to win the battle. There are times when you just have to rely on your player to win the matchup. And they match up well against our receivers. They've matched up well against all receivers they've come up against so far this season. But when you have 3 cornerbacks that can cover well, that's a problem. We had it in New York with the Giants. When I came in, you go from having 2 cornerbacks to having 3 starting cornerbacks, and you can play all types of coverages on third downs and passing downs. The running game is going to be stifled. They're going to, as I said earlier, they're going to stack the line. So we got to be as I wouldn't say conservative. I think we need to be as predictable as possible and allow our defense to win this game with us, not for us, but with us.
So this game reminds me of the 1991 season when the Cowboys went up there and clinched a playoff spot.
25-13?
25-13.
Talked about that.
And, you know, Jimmy Johnson, I think Nate was with us when we talked about it a little bit, pointed out to Steve Berline, who was starting his third consecutive game after Troy got hurt when they beat Washington 24-21. I think it was the Sunday before.
He's just showing off now.
It was the Sunday.
Call off scores, then you're just showing off. You know,
it was the Sunday. No, if I wanted to show off, I'll say I picked that score for the Washington game.
That's why you remember.
Only time I've ever got a score right, by the way. So they ended up beating Washington. Berline came in the second half, and then they beat the Steelers on Thanksgiving. They beat the Saints the next game when the Times-Herald went out of business, by the way.
Oh, that's why you remember it so much.
And then they had to go to Philadelphia, and because somebody lost on Saturday, if they won Sunday, they were going to clinch the playoff spot. Well, if you remember, the first time around against Philadelphia that year, Philadelphia beat the Cowboys at Texas Stadium 24-0, and they sacked Troy Aikman 11 times. So basically, Jimmy and Norv Turner told Berline, I don't care if you don't complete a pass. Do not get sacked
and don't throw an
interception. I think, if I remember correctly, he threw 11 consecutive incompletions in the first half. He was 0 for 11,
and they got sacked
and he
once.
Finished halftime 2 for 17.
Yep,
and they were in the game.
Yeah,
and then
it was you'll never guess what the score was.
I think
at
it was
halftime.
like 10-9 or something.
Nope.
Not even.
Halftime score was 10-5.
10-5.
Cowboys got out to a 5-0 lead in the first quarter and then gave up 10 points in the second. 10-5.
10-5.
And Nate Newton said he gave up the only sack that day.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
And so the key point in the game was Kelvin Martin's, I think it was 85-yard punt return.
That was one of the coolest punt returns.
Cowboys were down 10-8. Fourth quarter, and Kelvin Martin went 85 yards.
I wasn't even on the team then. I was playing with another squad. I just thought that was the coolest punt return.
And
Cowboys
the last block was by Ike Holt, who picked off, I don't remember who it was. The guy never saw him coming. He was chasing Kelvin Martin, and here
comes
a
penalty today.
Yeah, he comes circled back around and just cold cocks the guy. And they won the game. And
that was game.
I'm not sure they threw for 150 yards that game.
145.
And see, this is a gut check
and
game.
Emmett had a decent day, right?
Yes, it was 25 for 75.
Yeah, that was good.
That's about what we're going to see this week.
Right?
That's how it's going to look this week.
That's the game, right?
That's the game. And so, big win. There's gut check. Go ahead, Bill.
Oh, there was another key to that victory. Who was starting at quarterback for the Eagles that day?
Jeff Kemp.
Jeff Kemp, yeah.
That helped.
Yeah.
This ain't Jeff Kemp. Jalen Hurts.
The congressman?
I'm looking to see if he's related to Jack Kemp.
Jack Kemp was
it. Is. His father is Jack Kemp.
There you go. I'm telling you.
Is it?
Yeah.
I knew there was a connection.
Jack Kemp's son, Jeff Kemp. That's right.
I think I do.
And he was the backup to.
Is it Randall? It was Cunningham, wasn't it?
Probably Cunningham.
Yeah. Because Cunningham, I remember Cunningham, the playoff game in '92. Cunningham was a quarterback.
Right.
In '92, Cowboys went to Philly, and that was the much ballyhooed Monday night game where I can fast forward in my Cowboys. Were they unbeaten? Was it a battle of unbeaten?
I think they were both unbeaten at that time.
I remember.
And it was a Monday night game.
Is that the one where they lost? Going for it on fourth down?
No.
And there was like a circus.
Talking about?
That was Switzer.
I don't think anybody in Philadelphia.
I didn't think Jimmy was that.
Nobody in Philadelphia worked that Monday.
But now, Switzer was ahead of time. Now everybody goes for it on fourth down. There's nothing going for it on fourth and one at your 29.
Why don't you just punt the ball? What are you doing here?
But in '92, it was the Monday night game it's 31-7 was the final. Cowboys were 3-0 going into that game. I remember I went to I was there all week leading up to it. This shows the changing times in the media. I was working for Channel 5, sent a TV crew there on Monday that week. We were there the entire week. Wow. Got the Eagles locker room on Wednesday and did stories all around town and everything.
I think I got there Friday. Because I remember
which makes sense.
Getting an
not Monday. Give me a break. Yeah, plenty of money at KXAS.
The airplane ticket was cheaper on Friday than it was on Sunday or Saturday.
The hotel stay.
But Cowboys got blitzed that day. 31 to the reason I brought it up, Cowboys lost that game 31-7, and then a few weeks later beat Philly at home, and then first round of the playoffs beat Philadelphia 34-10, and they were all over Randall Cunningham that day.
I remember, was it that year or was it Green Bay? The assistant coach suffered a concussion.
That was later.
On the side.
Gil Haskell. It was 95, 96.
That was Green Bay.
Yeah,
right?
That was Green Bay. Yeah. So.
But when you look at this and you talk about the close coverage by the cornerbacks on the wide receivers, Dak has seen it, and any quarterback that has seen it, that's why you fall in love with your tight end. That's your safety. That's your safety net. And right now, we haven't used ours. Well, we haven't really had to use it. There were times we could have used it, but our defense bailed us out. Once again, the theme here is, guys, your defense can only save you so many times. And I love our defense, but there's going to be a game to where we're going to have to use our safety nets. Dak uses it. Mahomes uses it. All good quarterbacks know how important that safety net is, that tight end. And
they got to
not exercise that.
They got to hope that Schultz is healthy, because it's 3-game stretch now. He got hurt in one game. He missed the next game. He got back.
He has not looked good.
He got back this last game and hurt his knee again.
You can see it.
So they got to hope he's healthy.
Yeah.
All right. Throwing to the tight end, throwing to the running back. Cowboys last game. Okay, not only did they only have 10 first downs and win a game, the Cowboys won that game without a running back or tight end catching a pass. The only one team has gone without a catch from a running back or a tight end in the last 10 seasons. The Bills did it last year in a win over the Falcons. Todd Archer had that tweet the other day.
Do we have a defense or what?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the second time you've read out some stuff about this last game.
Mm-hmm.
That is, come on, man. They are so good. I just don't want us to drain that cup. All right, I want us to have some left at the end of the year, so that they can actually. We're going to need them. This is every team. We're going to need them to turn it up even more by the time this season is over with, if we want to be the team that we think we should be.
Schultz got one target last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we already talked about that.
Sunday.
We talked about
that's
that.
It.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got hurt. And then they didn't throw anything to Ferguson.
The tight ends.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Hendershot ended up being.
Now I want to see the tight ends. I believe it was the Giants game.
Yeah.
Where we had
Hendershot
a couple of
got
big
down
plays,
the field.
and he looked good.
Yeah.
Carrying the ball.
And by the way, the running backs had no targets in the game either.
They should have had one. He forced one to the outside on third down to Gallup. He was never open. And Zeke was underneath. If he dumped it to him, it would have been an easy first down. So he threw over Zeke's head. Yeah. So there's the game plan. We got it.
We do?
Yeah, we just.
Can you imagine?
We didn't see I didn't hear much optimism in this.
Well, we'll go. I mean,
can you imagine if let's pretend that we're at a coaches meeting right now, and so Kellen Moore just said, "There's the game plan. We got it."
Everybody,
and then,
crickets.
And then we do. Okay.
Yeah, crickets. That's what you were hearing in that locker room.
Well, we're gonna take Clarence's spot and tell Mike, here's your game plan, right?
Is that what he did?
Well, he was telling him, why are you telling us that, Dak's not going to play?
Clarence is just used to watching his Longhorns, and so they went a couple of weeks.
All of a sudden, he's
pretending that this Quinn Ewers character was going to play in a game, and he didn't play until this week. And then Oklahoma in the pregame warm-ups had their concussed quarterback all suited up like he was going to play in the game, and then he came out in shorts, and they didn't field a quarterback in the game. And
I didn't realize that part.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, okay, pregame warm-ups. All right, do you really think you're fooling the other team? What difference does it make if the quarterback
I think he
there?
did think he was fooling the other team. I think he did think that.
Well, then
nothing fooled him.
Well.
It worked for one play.
What play was that?
It
wasn't. No, it didn't work at all. All right, that does it for another edition of Mick Shots, and we will shout at you again tomorrow.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!